No one's going to join. No one's going to watch.
Well, maybe not. Maybe out sledging.
Yeah.
They might be out sledging.
There might be, yeah. Yeah, let's just check it works.
Maybe.
Oh, right, yeah. So that seems to work. Is everything all right on your end, yeah? Can you?
Yeah,
see?
all clear.
Yeah, because
clear.
when I did the live the other day with my dad, the signal just cut off. Well, I was like 10 seconds behind.
Right.
So, yeah, well, we've got one watcher.
Oh, hello.
Yeah. Don't know who it is. Feel free as well, Matt, in the chat. You should start to see it below you when people comment.
Is that there?
Let's have a look. Yeah, just feel free to answer anything that comes up.
Okay.
We've got 7 people on. I'm just going to check that the chat's working. So I'll drop a link to your YouTube channel.
Okay.
Just to make sure.
We have a hello.
Oh, there we go. Hello. Hi, Suzanne. Hiya, Joe. Hope you're okay. Right, so I might as well get started. So today we've got Matt on from Dark Side of the Moor. I've met Matt before. We did the video that never happened on my end. But yeah, Matt's a great guy. He's got a brilliant channel. He's probably my most watched YouTuber at the minute. I literally watch all your videos, Matt. And for those that don't know about Matt's channel, he does, I'd say you cover dark, well, it's a mixture of subjects really, isn't it? So you do like, you cover dark topics from the past, hidden stories. You also do exploring, and there's a bit, there's a bit of a mixture. So
yeah, there's a lot of darkness there, and we have to do dark things because it's our title. But we do also do quite a lot of silly things as well.
Yeah. So if you want to give us a little brief rundown, Matt, of what people that don't know your channel and what sort of it to expect on it.
Okay,
if that's all right.
Right. I'm going to just go and get my glasses because I can't read.
Yeah, no worries.
No, my glasses are never seen on screen because I age about 20 years. Just give me a sec.
No worries. Thanks everyone for joining. Great to see that you're all in chat. So I've got Suzanne, Joe, Paul, my dad, Phil. Hello from Inley and Wigan. Nice one. Thanks for joining. Yeah, today we've got Matt on the channel. One of my favourite YouTubers. Just totally, you can get lost on his in his videos. They're brilliant, and the way he presents them are absolutely brilliant too. So we've got him on for a bit of a chat today. So if you've got any questions, there we go. Yes, very nice.
Who's here then?
Very nice.
Oh, hi everybody. Oh yeah, Susan, hello. Nice to see you. Tails beyond the grave. I don't know who that fella is.
No, neither. He keeps commenting on my stuff and I ain't got a clue who he is.
Right then. So, sorry, did you ask me a question before I went away?
So basically, for the people that don't know who you are, I'm sure there's plenty that do, but for people that don't know about you and your channel, just give us a little rundown of what people can expect to see on your channel.
Okay, sure. So my channel is the Dark Side of the Moor. Let's see what clever little twist we did there. And I've been doing the channel for over 4 years. And it started it started in lockdown pretty much just as lockdown was finishing. I decided to, when I was doing my walks, I'd started filming things and putting them on Facebook. And people were saying, these are quite good, why don't you just try them on YouTube? And I did. And sometimes they were just 30 seconds of me standing with my phone, looking at what was behind me and doing my own story about where I was. So, for example, if I was at Studley Pike, I could tell you a story from when I was at school and things like that. So it was also initially just very short clips of what is local to me and my own history to it. And then it's just expanded from there, from, getting more history involved, lots of folklore. There's lots of folklore for Calderdale on there. again, folklore is something that was quite big when I was growing up. My uncle used to tell me lots of stories. So, I've been able to recite those. And it's just expanded and expanded and grown and grown and grown. And, I think I'm on about video 700 roughly in 4 years. It's kind of my work now. It's what I do. And we try and get out 2 or 3 videos a week. We try and do one big one, which is a big, maybe 30-minute video of a story. And then there's a shorter one, which might just be a, 10-minute one. But, this year alone, we've covered Wales, Scotland, London, Kent, Austria. We've even gone global. And it continues. And it's not just me either. We're a team. I've got my 2 best pals with me, Danielle and Tom, are my 2 best friends. And I'm very, very lucky to have them. Very, very. There's only one video where we've been together, and if anyone can ever find that, you get a bonus prize. But there's 3 of us who go out and tell these stories and head across the world and look for things to find and film. But yeah, generally history, folklore, crazy things. There was quite a lot of things like wild swimming and urban exploring in the early days as well. Not doing just as much of that now, but that's possibly my age.
No, yeah, like you were saying then, you can sort of go somewhere in your local area, and it amazes me when I watch a channel how much history is within your area alone, or just on even on the outskirts.
Yeah.
There's so many tales from the past that just sort of get forgotten about. And it's similar to like when I do my videos and about folklore and people like family members telling you stories, they stay with you from being a kid. And then as you get older and you realise and you start doing a bit of research on it yourself, obviously, with the power of the internet, you actually can put dates, names, places to all these, stories that were just Chinese whispers kind of thing. It's like the one that I did with the Cot Robin Bridge murder. Now, that to me, when I was growing up, was just sort of, we knew it happened, but there wasn't any significant stuff that went on. People would just pass down information. Oh, there was this, and it's like spreads like a wildfire, and you hear all these rumors. And then when I actually knuckled down and I thought, right, I need to find the core base of what goes on. It's surprising how much you uncover stories, but your area.
You're going to get this a lot because I'm reading at the bottom what things are coming up. So I'm not ignoring you.
No,
it's
it's
just
all
I
right.
occasionally go from, young beautiful boy to granddad within seconds. Just to answer the question that's come up, it's not Tom from Matt's channel. Sorry, Tom and Danielle are not on the call today. They've got other things to do. They're snowed in elsewhere.
I think Tom and Danielle had different variety to the channel. When obviously when you do it, it's great, and then when they feature on it, it gives a different element to the channel.
They're fantastic. They're so easy to work with, and they've always been. The funny thing is, they've been there from a very long time. You just haven't seen them. If you've watched my channel from early days, they've been there a very long time, but never in front of the camera. And it's only kind of, they'd film a lot of it, but they'd never appear. Perhaps because I was very selfish and thought it should just be me. But over time, they started appearing, and now they are part of it. And even to the point where they are finding the stories, they are going out telling these stories with me, and sometimes I just leave them to it. Certainly Tom, he's got so much knowledge, so much history in there. He could do this himself and have a hugely successful channel. And I know the people who watch my channel, they love Danielle, they love Tom.
Yeah.
Certainly with Tom, he's got so much info.
And he's got a natural talent for speaking as well. I think
it's fantastic. They're both fantastic. I mean, I've got to say that they're not here to listen to me, but they are fantastic.
Yeah.
What's that one?
I'll try and read some of these as well.
Narrating or radio voice. Yeah, it does. It's perfect. Absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I've just been told United have scored. I've got my missus is watching the game downstairs, so she just messaged me saying
That's
United have
very good.
scored. Yeah,
This is
1-0.
amazing. I've taken priority over United. What's going on?
Oh, to be honest, I was expecting us to get an hammer in, and I just forgot about the time, and I thought, oh, United are on, and I thought, oh, whatever, we'll get beat anyway, but we're doing all right apparently. So I'll try and read some of these comments.
I
My
can only see like.
dad said he
Oh, there we go. Scroll back up.
loves the dark side of the Moor.
Thank you. Oh, yes, your dad's great. And for anybody watching who hasn't gone to Tales Beyond the Grave yet, go watch it. Not just because it's this fella's dad. He's actually really good. Just so easy to watch. And comes up with some great things.
Tom's great in the radio voice. I find the Moors quite funny because of the hills of eyes. Yeah, you're right. Telling tales and beyond the grave. Yeah, we're in 5 minutes ahead in the Isle of Man. It's 1-0. Yeah, whatever. It's not 1-0. So Matt, out of your plans with the channel, obviously we've just entered into a new year. What sort of plans do you have, or goals, so to speak, if you do have any, for the channel for the year? Is there any sort of things you want to document, or without giving too much away? Because I know we don't want to. You might not want to tell people what you've got planned because there might be like some good stories you want to keep to yourself. But are there any places like you have done abroad, and you've been to Kent and you've been Wales? Are you still going to plan on doing stuff like that?
Yeah. I mean, we're 2 weeks. We're less than 2 weeks away from Wales. We're going down to Wales. That's a Danny and I road trip, and I don't mind saying what we're doing. We're doing. We're going to go to an abandoned quarry near Shrewsbury on the way down. We're going to go to Menorca Castle, which was the castle that is used in the 80s Chronicles of Narnia, if anyone remembers that.
Wow, yeah.
And whilst we're there, it's very close to very famous film character who died in Pembrokeshire. And we're going to go and find Dobby's grave. So that's 3 things we're doing. And then to finish off, we're going to be back up in Blaenau Festiniog.
I've been
again,
there.
Part of doing crazy things is I'm going on Zip World.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be flying over a quarry to finish it off. So that's our next road trip. But other things coming up. We're going to Warsaw in March, which should be quite good.
Wow.
That's more of an abandoned buildings kind of thing. I'm going to look at some places. We're going to stop at what's called the Modeling Fortress. Funny enough, you fly into it. The aeroplane takes us directly to it.
Wow.
But it's very close to Warsaw, about 20 minutes on the train. I found an abandoned hospital there we're going to cover, and an abandoned giant strawberry. So
really?
there's all sorts of things. So there's some good stuff. And I can't give anything away on this one yet. We might be meeting a certain person called Chris Jericho.
Really?
I'll leave that at that. Yeah.
All right.
But I can't go any further with that yet because it could well flip either way. But
As in Chris Jericho, the wrestler?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Well,
it's quite interesting because at the end of last year, we met. Name's gone out of my head. The female from the first Terrifier film, and we met Michael Berryman, who was in Hills of Eyes.
I think I remember. Did you take pictures of that? I think you remember.
Yeah, we filmed the interview, and then we got some pictures with them, which was quite nice. So hopefully the Jericho one might even be in a wrestling ring, but of course, again, something else I've done in 2024, which was very, very unexpected, was I competed in gravy wrestling for the channel as well. So,
well, if he's watched that, he's going to be fairing you, isn't he?
So, definitely. But so we just keep going. We booked months in advance now. It's not just what we're going to do this week.
Yeah,
we kind of know all the big things are planned out.
Right.
Just to give me a chance to research them and get them ready. There's another one I've forgotten. Sorry, the Wales one, the Pembrokeshire one. When we're near Monorbia and Dobby's Grave, we're covering a serial killer story as well. It's a serial killer who actually appeared on the TV show Bullseye. So we're going to cover that story as well whilst we're down.
Right, brilliant. That rings a bell. That I'm sure I saw a clip on TikTok.
It's probably it's quite well known, but Anyway, shall we get some questions?
Yeah, definitely.
Here we go. Grandad's back. Right, what have I missed?
So hi from Connecticut, from Colleen. Thanks for joining, Colleen. And Taz, that's going to be cool. Going to a castle of Narnia, finding Dobby's grave will be really good too.
Yeah, well, both of those. 2 weeks' time, you'll see those on the channel.
Brilliant. The abandoned village. Oh yeah, my dad went and filmed a village not long ago in Wales.
Yeah,
I can never pronounce it, but it sort of says
no,
Dynawick or something. But
as I said, something like Dinoric, probably. But yeah, similar. We actually last year went to Treffer Quarry, which is less well known than that one. But again, it's all big mining on a hillside kind of thing. It was really interesting. There rain going that way against us, so it's not easy to film.
Yeah, that Blanu Festinog, I went and stayed I think it was in lockdown or just after lockdown, and we stayed at these like glamping tents, a big massive tent with like a fire in them, beds, really cozy. And then it was on a slate mine, so you can see all like where they still mine all the slate and stuff. And there's loads of history around there. And the zip line, I kept seeing thingies for the zip line, and I've actually saw. Is it the biggest? It might be the biggest in the UK zip line or something like that. It's massive. But
it's going to be good.
If anything goes
wrong,
that's
the end of the channel.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. Someone else will have to film more. So
so the Gravy Wrestling was well worth watching, and that's why I donated. My dad said.
Oh yeah, thank you, Steve. It's very kind. We were obviously donating. It's past now. We may do it again, but raising money for Andy's Man Club with that.
Yeah,
which is great. Yeah, it was such. I'm sure you remember. If you don't know, so Gravy Wrestling takes place in Bacup. It's the World Gravy Wrestling Championships, and I just decided to compete this year. And yeah, obviously I'm 6'7" and full of muscles, and within 10 seconds, the guy I was wrestling slipped in the gravy and headbutted me right in the face, blood pouring everywhere, getting in the gravy. We're surrounded by families watching us, all going, "Is that man bleeding?" But I never stopped smiling. I couldn't see anything because it just totally... And yeah, I was out the first round.
So is it actually gravy?
Oh, yeah.
Is it?
Yeah. Yes, yeah. You could smell it within a half-mile diameter, basically.
Yeah.
But it was great fun. I would love to do it again and hopefully not get a bus nose.
Yeah.
And the best thing about the bus nose, I ended up on the front of the New York Post with this nose bleeding, being drop-kicked. I'm like, oh my goodness, there's fame. There's fame.
Yeah. Well, you can always take up. You never know. Jericho might get you a slot in the wrestling.
Well, listen to our meeting him. Let's get involved. He must be retiring soon. There's room for me. Actually, he's probably younger than me.
World Gravy Wrestling Championship takes place at the Rose and Bowl near Bacup. Yeah, that's right. Slurpee.
It does. That's the one. Slurpee Dave.
The Pembrokeshire Murders, Joe's put. I remember that Bullseye.
That's the Bullseye killer. Yeah, I'll be covering that one. Fascinated on the shape of head. I won't give too much away what we've, I won't go into the full story of that yet till we've filmed it. That's a weird one. How long you are together in love? What?
Don't know.
How long you are together in love? I'm in love with everybody.
Slurpee's wrote.
I'm probably not allowed to talk about that. Anyway. Flipper Dave is busy. I met a wrestling chef once. Favorite move was the artichoke.
Choke. Oh, bum bum.
Oh gosh, I'll remember not to look at any more of it. Sorry, I'm only joking.
Come across, uncover the story of Dolly and the locomotive and the coal wagons that went down the coal mine shaft. The train wagons still down there, and the
Wow.
lucky berry sealed in. Wow.
Oh, is this Philip? Can you let me know if that's in Wales, please? I think I've seen pictures of that.
Taz says, "Would you do the black pudding throwing in Ramsbottom?"
Well, why not?
Yeah. There's all
When is that
sorts of
on?
it. There's
When does
all
that happen?
you see. I've actually seen that black pudding one, and I've saw that cheese one. You've seen it where they roll the
Oh,
cheese
the
down the
cheese
air,
rolling. Yeah,
and there's
yeah, yeah.
literally like 7 or 8 bad accidents
Yeah,
every year from it.
yeah. Welly
Um,
wanging, I've done that.
what's that? Where you?
Welly wanging, you throw a welly as far as you can. I've
Oh,
done
right.
that. It wasn't worth filming. Good evening,
Yeah. So
Holly.
oh yeah, hiya Holly. Hope you're okay. I've got a shop that stores
Oh,
Oxo,
no,
Bovril, and
I just
Bisto.
thought it says to her.
Hurry up while stocks last.
Do you know
So
this fella?
yeah,
Who-
yeah,
who-
he's a
Yeah,
cracking fellow. He's a cracking
okay.
fellow. Yeah, I see you saving a lecky, and I know. Yeah, I never have it on in here. To be honest, I hate the light. I just like my lamp being on.
Happy New
So
Year.
the what's it called? So
Gurning? It's in the
Gurney.
size of my teeth. I can't do gurning.
Out of
Oh, right.
your videos,
Sorry.
Matt.
Yeah, all right. The locomotive's in Hindley near Wigan. Right, thank you, Philip. I don't know that story, so I'll look it up.
Yeah,
Thank you.
that'll be good. Out of is what I wanted to ask you really. So you've got around 700. In fact, I'm on your channel now. 738 videos you've got,
Oh, okay.
and you're at 600,000 views in total. So you're on your way to 1 million views. Out of
Yeah,
all of them,
most of that's in the last week.
yeah, no, it's crazy that, isn't it?
Yeah, for if any of you are subscribers to me, and you don't have to be, it's either way. Thank you if you are. First of all, it's been 4 years. It's great fun. I'll film it. If I only had 10 subscribers, I'd still be out filming these.
Yeah,
But 8 days ago, I had 2,700 subscribers. As of tonight, I've got 4,500, and it's just leapt up so quick in a week. So I'm over the moon with it. Just to suddenly get that as a New Year treat was really nice, and it's still going. Every time I click on it, there's 5 more. So yeah, thank you. If that is you, if you've joined, thank you so much.
So the video that you've recently, well, it's not the most recent one now, but the tragedy of Rodwell and Farm.
Yeah, yeah.
That one seems to have just gone.
That's
And
crazy. I mean,
uh,
and the thing with it's been picked up in America, and that's why it's doing well.
wow.
All the comments are from people in America, Canada, and what is really nice. So another thing I'm sure you're exactly the same. You get idiots on comments and stuff like that. They're just if you put offensive stuff on my comment, it's just gone. Forget it. What's been really nice with this one is, again, if you haven't seen it, Rodwell and Barn is very near to me, and it's just an old ruin. It's an abandoned farm, and there's a big barn next to it. And I'd filmed it before just as a urban explore. And after putting that video out, somebody said to me, I think there's a story about a mother killing her children and in the barn. And that she was told as a child, don't go near that farm because that woman's there and everything else, back in the 60s or 70s. And anyway, we tried to find Tom's really good at the newspaper archive and things, so he does a lot of that. I can never find anything on that. I do other way. I go to the library.
Yeah.
Anyway, we couldn't find anything specific on that story, but we just kept uncovering suicide. The the point there's 4 suicides in this particular barn, and just the fact that happened in this like abandoned barn up there, I just thought would just quickly tell the story, just say what happened there, and then finish it with, you know, if you're affected by this, you know, there are things now in place, you can get help. And, you know, I never shy away from the fact that my own life, I was not in a good place 6 years ago and almost wasn't here. So I'll never shy away from it. I don't have a stigma attached to suicide or anything like that. But what it's done is the comments have opened up communication. And there's so many people putting their stories on from things they've experienced, or, you know, their own family members did this 30 years ago and it wasn't spoken about because back then it wasn't something you did speak about. It was shameful and everything else. And it's just opened up this great communication. And yeah, people in America have certainly taken it to heart. Like I said, these comments are mostly from American viewers. That is far more important than me getting 2,000 more subscribers or 400 more views. Opening up communication for people who have never been able to speak before. It's wonderful. I'm really, if I'd had no other video on there, that's the one that, you know, I'm more proud of that happening, really.
Yeah, it's one of them, isn't it? Like, sometimes you'll make a video and it becomes more than a video, and it means, you know, it means something to somebody.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the most watched one on there. I mean, the cave in Scotland, Snibs Cave, has got about twice the number of views as that. But it's not an important video. It's just a memory of somebody from some time decades ago. And, you know, the comments, a lot of people were saying, oh, I remember him and everything else. But as a video, it's not important. This one is kind of in terms of what it's done. So yeah, I'm glad. That's happened, and let it continue if necessary.
Definitely, it's helped people, hasn't it? And it's, you know, when I was listening to it, I just thought, like, obviously, going back years and years when this was,
100 years.
when these happened, and it's the way that they word it. You know, we had an unsound mind. You know, things like that, and it's
they try and come up with so everything's taken from the newspaper articles. Some of what I say in the video is directly from the newspaper articles, which is why sometimes it doesn't sound natural or right, but it's because I'm reading the article. And yeah, a lot of it is just, we need an answer for this. Or they were in the temporal insanity. Was one of the things they said. That's how they even worded it. Is it temporal or is it temporary? You know, but they word it as temporal insanity, and it's like, there's something happened. There's something. I'm not going to go down the supernatural route. I don't think there's anything supernatural there. I just think life must have been really, really tough. And as a farmer, and they're all farmers, as a farmer, you are reliant on, you know, it has to be a good year or you don't make money, essentially. So, yeah, I can only imagine what a tough life it was, really. So, yeah.
I mean, it's tough now. It's tough now for farmers, but even, like, you know, if you go back then, when, like you say, times were extremely, extremely hard. There was no network for help or for people to express how they truly felt. You know, and like you say, they were just sort of shrugged to one side and, oh, go on, you'll get on with it, kind of thing. And you know, it's that video. It does really hit home, and it's a brilliant video. And like you say, it's much more than just you filming it. There's a story behind it, and there's an outlet for people to speak about things as well, which is brilliant.
And I think there's a lot of questions pinged up whilst I've been doing that. Sorry, I do talk a lot. I apologise.
That's why you're here. Colleen's just said, I just subscribed to the Dark Side of Moor. I'm really looking forward to binge watching today.
Thank you. Who was that on?
That's Colleen. Watching both inspire us to make our own channel at times. I get nervous speaking, etc. That's from Taz.
I'm just going a bit further back up. I think we've missed some. Pottery Cottage Murders, asked by Nicola. Would you cover that? I'll cover it. That's a good thing. I'm sure you're the same. If people have good ideas of things to cover, let us know if you want us to.
I can't see that comment.
No, it's quite a bit further up. Link for the channel. I don't know if you'll have to do that, but
no,
basically, it's the dark side of the Moor. Just look for me stood in the Pink Floyd symbol. You'll see it.
I'll drop it in the chat now, Matt.
Just submit. I watched the Angel Meadow video. Oh, that's very kind. Yeah, I don't know anybody else who's done that Angel Meadow. So
let's here.
We've been watching while you was it. What's that? Oh yeah, Halifax Pride. Yeah, cover Pride events. Yeah, if I can. Yeah. Avid watcher of the channel, Steve. Thank you.
I don't
Sorry,
know.
I think I've gone further back up than you. Sorry.
I think that
watching today. Oh, I see why you've not gone so far back up. It says something about Liverpool equalised.
Oh, has it? I've not had a ping on my phone.
Why aren't you getting these? Taz, watching both inspire us to make own channel. That's really nice. Yeah, the guy next to me here on screen is fantastic, and you've got great skills at making videos and everything else. I'm very lucky. I've done a lot of public speaking all my life, and I was a teacher for 10 years. So speaking a lot is something I do, and I've done acting for 30 years. So I don't get nervous talking at all, but I can understand why people do. But just keep doing it. That's my info for Taz. Keep doing it. And please send me a link. If you're filming for a channel, let me know. Comment on one of mine saying it's Taz from the chat. This is what I'm doing. Let's watch you. Let's see what you're up to.
Right, I've just posted the link, and I don't think the first two worked, but the next one did. Okay. So that's in the channel now. Yeah, Taz, if you've got any videos and you've started yourself, send them over, and we'll get behind you, mate. It is nerve-wracking the first few, because you do when you start it, you feel a bit. Well, I did on my first one. That's why for the first maybe 10, 15 videos, you didn't see me. I was behind the camera.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? So, and then I just started going on, but you just sort of build. Well, I did with me. I built my confidence up to a level where I thought it didn't look too bad. So
yeah. A message there from Stacey. I think it's linked to what we were talking about. A friend took his own life. I'm still so sad and angry, to be honest. You're allowed to have those feelings. You're allowed to feel however you want to feel. I hope over time things improve for how you feel.
So
it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate you don't. When something like that. When I was at my worst point and I was not going to be here, I just felt this world would be better off without me, which is why I was going to do it. I didn't think of anybody else. A lot of people say it's selfish, but your thought process is it's going to be better if I'm not here. Thankfully, I didn't go through with it in the end. And from then I got better and I started talking, and life's really good. Life's been good for years. I don't know what the circumstances are, Stacey, as to why your friend took his life, but you are allowed to feel that way. So please don't, people would have been sad and angry at me as well, and I can't change it, but all I can do is say, I'm very lucky, basically.
Did you find that the Andy's Man Club really helped out with what you how you went about it?
Yeah.
Because I see posters for him. I see a lot of posters for him everywhere.
Yeah. I mean, it's such a big thing now. So I've been with Andy's Man Club for about 5.5 years, and I now, after about a year of speaking, I'd say I felt much better, because I seem to have a lot to unpack. I've worn a mask for 30 years before that, of hiding things and hiding me, and a lot of it stems from I'm adopted, and I've always had issues with that. I could go into full depth with this, so I won't go too much into it. But in terms of where I am now, it's because Andy's Man Club gave me that chance to talk and get things out. And now I'm a facilitator for both Hebden Bridge and Todmorden. I help with both groups and getting people on their journeys back to a happy life, if you like. And it does work. It doesn't work for everybody, but if at any point, there are women groups opening up now as well. I think there's a feeling women talk anyway and men don't. It's not necessarily the case. Just go and speak to a group of people who are strangers, and you find you're not on your own, and it can help. But I'll leave it at that. This isn't what this is about today, but it's, I try and say it quite often that life can be better, and keep going at it because it's worth it.
I totally agree. I think in the moment when you can be in those sort of dark places, I think you think that it can never get better.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
you've just got to sort of imagine your life a few years, months, weeks, even in front of where you're at, and just think, there is gonna get better. There's gonna be good times coming, and
and there was, and that's been it. It's like I look back on the last 5 years and go, wow, I've missed a lot. So, yeah.
Well,
anyway, sorry, we're taking over that. But
we're all glad you're here, Matt.
well, thank you. I'm glad I'm here as well.
Yeah. Hello from Macclesfield. I might be behind in the chat now. Sue's put, love the programme that looked at premonitions only because of what I've experienced in the past, which was scary. My favourite Daft Monkey video is Angel Meadow. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the place, I always say, it's the place that keeps on giving, Angel Meadow. There's stories of recent, there's stories of 200 years ago, and then there's stuff in between. It's fascinating. How did you find it, Matt, when you went? Could you sort of feel the atmosphere around there?
It was, and I can't describe it.
Yeah.
So I've done 2 of yours, haven't I? I've covered the reason Ant and I got in touch was over the Pusher. And I watched that and just thought, I cannot not cover that because it's absolutely fascinating. So, you very kindly said it's okay to go ahead and film it. That's always quite important. If you're going to cover somebody else's stuff, just ask them first. They're most likely going to say yes. But he did say yes. And then this year, or last year, we did the same for Angel Meadow because for some reason I'd missed that one of yours until I watched it like just a few months ago, and again got that same, I have to go and film that. And when you're there, if you watch my video on it, I actually get overcome with emotion near the end. There is something really odd about that place. There's echoes of something screaming at you that you cannot quite, you can't quite make it out what it is, but there's echoes of the past, 100%.
It's as if it's right in front of you, but you can't sort of see it, kind of thing. And when I go and I sort of walk round the park or whatever, or I'll walk down one of the back streets and have a look, you can, in your mind's eye, you can hear the sounds, you can see the people.
Oh yeah.
It's like there's a film in front of you and you can't get to it. But the atmosphere, it's so deep, and the fact that there is all those people buried under your feet is just, in those conditions as well. It wasn't like, here's a plot for this family. It was like,
just piled up and piled up and piled up.
Yeah,
and then a train line put straight through the middle. Crazy. They're just not traitors people at all. Yeah, it was a tough one to film. To get through to the end of it,
I don't know if you went. Do you know what? If you go in the park, so do you know as if you go? Do you know where them new buildings have just been built? If you go down the back of the steps of Angel Meadow, where you go down and there's the charter school.
Yeah.
To the right there, I don't know if I don't think you filmed it, but you might have seen it. There's a ginnel that you can see with a fence up, and if you just look above there, the old street sign of St Michael's Place is still there, the original sign, and that was a ginnel that ran through Angel Meadow. and you can't get to it now. There's a railing there, and then there's all like
there was a lot of work going on. That old school building was surrounded by people working on it, and then just under the bridge, walking on the road with that building on your right under the bridge, there were lots of people there as well. So I didn't hang about there too much.
Well, I got the inspiration from that by reading. I read a book by Dean Kirby, who his family, when they dug out where that apartment block is, they dug out the old street that his family lived on, and he was stood in his ancestor's house like 120, 30 years later. It was incredible, but yeah, it's such an atmospheric place.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
With mixed emotions with everything. Hi, Antoinette Ren from BC. Thanks for all the great. Oh, thank you. I've not spoke to you for a while. I'll just let her know quickly. I used to chat to this woman, BC lady. I can't remember. Sorry, I can't remember your name off the top of my head. But she came over from America to find her family she had a family in Manchester that from years ago. Anyway, she came over all the way from America, and she went and found her family's resting places and everything. So it was amazing. But basically, I've lost my Facebook, and I've had to reopen one. I've lost my actual page. It got hacked. So hence why I haven't been on there it's gone. So I can't go on there. You give me a great insight into my roots in Salford. Thanks very much. I'm glad it helped. Filming pubs, that will boost your confidence. Sue says talking to people is therapy.
Yeah.
Mandy's just said hi. Matt and Anne. Hi, Amanda. I think she lives in South. So where is it? Yeah, South Africa, I think.
Oh wow. Okay.
Let me just get this
I think I've gone. Oh yeah, there he is, Mandy. Yeah.
So Nick says I was adopted and spent most of my life unhappy and unfulfilled. My genetic family traced me and it brought me to such happiness, he said.
Right. Yeah. So one thing my parents did give me, my birth parents, was the most horrendous name, and I'm so glad it changed. If you watch the wrestling video, it's the first time in my life I use my wrestling. My real name is my wrestling name, and I was born Johnny Topless.
Is that your name? Is that your?
That's my official birth name. Is Johnny Topless. I'm so pleased that changed.
To be honest, it is a
Can
good
you imagine going to a school with that?
Yeah, but to be honest, Matt, it is a really good wrestling name.
Well, that's why I used it. I thought it's the first option I've had to use it. Yeah, Johnny Top. So I've still got John as a middle name.
Yeah.
Just as a kind of blast to the past, but yeah, Johnny Top.
Wow.
You can see now, folks, why there's an issue, can't you?
How's the last name spelled? Is it Teo?
With an I, not topless.
Oh,
topless.
Right. So I've got family members on my side with that last name.
Are they from Hull?
No, I don't think so. No, they're from Salford.
Oh, right. So I'm from Hull originally.
Right.
It's a very Hull name. There's hundreds of, I think even Hull City have previously had like toplesses playing for them. So
right.
Yeah, it's quite a regular name there. But I'm over the moon that changed it. Oh dear.
I've just someone's just said moderator. Yeah, I'll someone's just put something political on here. I think it's just got.
Oh, what? Yeah, well, that's.
Yeah. I'll tell you what.
Stuff. So I'll just if you're doing that, if anyone watches my stuff as well, you will never get any political opinions at all from me. A lot of people ask me to. They're like, "What's your opinion?" I don't have any political opinions at all because I don't like any of them. That's as simple as that. I don't support any political party. No. So it's really.
I've just
nothing I can comment on because I'm not bothered at all.
I've just added my dad as a moderator. So, but he probably
All
won't
right.
know.
Well,
He what
your
he
dad's
prob
keeping an eye on stuff.
yeah, but he probably won't know how to
It
do
might,
it
it
anyway.
might get rid of me now.
Yeah.
Watch me disappear off the screen.
Yeah.
South Africa. Mandy,
Yeah.
thank you so much for
Yeah.
watching. That's amazing.
Slurpee said, every time I'm over in Manchester, I always spend half an hour in Angel Meadow, then go for a pint in the Marble or the Hare and Hounds. To be honest, I love the Marble Arch. I don't know if you've been in there, Matt, but the Marble Arch
Where's
is
this, sorry?
in Angel Meadow. So it's sort of as you come out of Angel Meadow back towards Ancoats Way, I think.
Right.
But it's a brilliant, like, it's like stepping back in time in there. It's unbelievable inside. People are telling me it's 2-2 now.
Oh, somebody's.
Yeah.
I think mine's reading from the bottom. Do I know the Wandering Turnip? Yes, I know the Wandering Turnip very well. Wandering Turnip is Dave Burnip. I hope he doesn't mind me giving his name away. And a little story. So, if you remember earlier on in the conversation, I said I've got 30 years of acting, and alongside that is also directing theatre as well. And probably about 2005, 2006, I was the director for Vale Youth Theatre. And one of the children, 12-year-old, 13-year-old, something like that, who was on stage at Hebden Cinema, they lift the screen up and on stage, was David Burnip, now the Wandering Turnip. So yes, I've directed David before, and he's fantastic. And I'll tell you what, his channel is just wow. Just went through the roof. He's done. Generally, he goes around and films places that are kind of running down and looking at if there's ways of bringing towns back and things. Yeah, I don't watch all of his. I'll be honest. I don't watch every single thing he does, but yes, I know him and I like him very much. He's a nice guy.
I think I've only saw a couple of his videos actually, and I think it was when did you post a picture of him not long? Well, might have been last year maybe or the year before.
Yes, yeah. We bumped into each other in Hebden. He lives in this area, so
Right.
I do see him around.
Yeah. I think he did. Was it the Blackpool? Did he go around Blackpool or something like that?
He
doing
did
like
yeah. Yeah, it's kind of on brand. It's very topical. What he does, things that are quite happening at the time. I did one on abandoned Blackpool as well, and again, it's not a bad one, but I got comments going, "Never come to Blackpool again. You're not welcome."
Did you?
It's like people watched it. It's nice. I love Blackpool. I go 3 times a year to Blackpool. Absolutely love it. Yeah,
it is brilliant. It holds so many like nostalgic memories as well. Blackpool from being a kid, and a lot of it hasn't changed. There's parts that have, but there's a lot of it that haven't. So you're acting, Matt. You say you've been acting for how long?
So, I just did a panto in December, and that was my 30th anniversary of acting.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how long have you been directing?
Well, that youth theatre one was about 2005. So probably about the same. That was probably around the same time I started directing. I don't think I'd done anything before that.
Do you get more enjoyment out of one or the other, or both the same?
No, probably acting more.
Yeah.
There's a lot more pressure with directing, and it starts much earlier. When you're doing a play, if I'm in a play, you've kind of just got 6 weeks, and then you're on stage. If you're directing it, you've got to start months and months because you've got to choose your play. You've then got to get your stage manager, your crew, your team, your set. All that needs to be done before you've got your cast, and then you get your cast, and you've got your 6 weeks, and then you're on. So it's not that I dislike it. I don't dislike it. I love it, but I can't do it very often. It's a kind of a 3 or 4 year kind of scenario, really.
I bet it's
acting. I try and do something at least once a year if I can. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Oh, I've got a question there. Mandy's put,
I'm very
disappointed you're in a boring white T-shirt. Well, T-shirt may be boring, but I hope you like
Oh,
my fur, Mr. Tumnus pants.
I was
I've
bracing
been
myself for
Mr.
something else then,
I know
Matt.
you're waiting for the Speedo. Not today, but it's. I've been Mr. Tumnusing it around the snow today. That had to happen. So there you are, Mandy. That one's for you. And another. If we do this again, I'll do a Dark Side of the Moor wardrobe because that'll take hours.
Just catching up on some of these.
Yeah. Wandering
Although,
Turnip Great Channel, yes. Accrington Bricks. Wandering Turnip, yeah, bricks. I've covered quite a few bricks on my things, but I've never done a full video on it, so not as good as you, Ant, of course. Hi, Dave, if you're watching.
so Paul says, have you ever met Billy Moore or Charlie Beach? I don't know if you know who they are. Basically,
No, I don't think so.
Charlie Beach is just not worth talking about, and Billy Moore just sort of he goes around, sounds innocent. It's not similar to the Wandering Turnip, but he'll interview people that down and outs of the area and stuff.
Oh, I
That are
do know
like,
who he is. I do know
yeah,
he is. Is one of the guys who were getting. So, so I occasionally visit Canal Street in Manchester. There's a section under there which we covered for the Pusher story, both of us, that people hang out in, and it's kind of known in Manchester as Cottagers Cove, I think. And this is one of the same people. They filmed down there. They were trying to deliberately film people getting into disturbing acts, if you like. And yeah, not appropriate at all.
no. Well, I
That
went
kind of
I
thing.
went
I'm
down there.
guessing that's one of them.
I went down there to film the
Yeah.
Pusher, and I had
Yeah.
no clue where I was walking.
Oh, right.
And I
Okay.
was like, "What's going on round here?" kind of thing. And I thought
And you'd been proposed to 3 times by the time you came out.
I just got in and then I went, but I just thought there was a few dodgy characters, to be honest, knocking about
Yeah,
round there.
there is. I mean, you don't go down there in the dark,
No.
100%. Yeah.
So yeah, the Pusher video you did,
Yeah.
the Angel of the Meadow. But like you were saying, like I've covered yours as well. So I covered the what was it? The Peter Sutcliffe, the murder house, the murder
Oh,
flat.
yeah. Yeah.
That was what that I was speaking to last week on the live about it. That
All
was
right.
it was strange being in that building. Totally strange,
It's
considering what had gone on,
yeah.
and it's in such a terrible state. I mean, you got to be really careful. If I wouldn't advise anybody to go in, but it's in a
No.
very bad condition. But
It's amazing it's still there.
yeah,
It's crazy it's still there, and not especially even in the condition it's in. But yeah, we were in there 10 minutes in and out, and
yeah,
we knew we weren't quite in the right place, but we kind of thought our time's up here.
yeah.
We need to go. Yeah, not a good place to be at all.
Yeah, it's not a place you
And
want to
again,
hang
that was
about.
another one. A bit like Angel Meadow, there was some kind of feeling there as well that it didn't feel right at all.
No.
So
What's it called? Like you were saying though, Matt, like we always sort of ask one another if, I would never do a video that you would done and just outright just go and do it. Not that, and vice versa. But the thing is, it's not like because I've done that video, I own the rights, and this is,
no,
this is my
absolutely.
domain. But
No.
it is
It's just
nice for someone to say, do you mind if I did it? And that's why I
yeah,
messaged you. You've messaged me.
yeah.
But yeah,
No,
there's
it's just polite, isn't it? It's
yeah,
just politeness. It's like you say, it's not our story, but
no, it's just courtesy, isn't it?
yeah.
Um,
Anyway, I see you've lost about 15 viewers since I showed my trousers.
Where are we in this chat?
All
'Cause I'm
right, so
losing track here.
that is Charlie. Yeah,
Yeah.
awful person. Don't give him any views, but they do, don't they? Get millions of views. It's sad, really.
Yeah, he said, Steaming Lion says they get views from homeless people. Quite sad, but the YouTube world is a weird one. It
It
is,
really is.
and
It really is.
it's strange. You know, there's some people will they don't really have a they'll scrape the barrel just to get a view, and it goes against all your sort of what you are as a person. Like some of the people that go out and they'll like that Charlie Beach, for example, they'll go out purposely to antagonize somebody just to get views and just to go viral, and the people that get interviewed, the sort of they're down and out and they're down on the luck as well. These people that are sleeping rough on the streets, and the last thing they need is someone sticking a camera in the face, provoking them.
Absolutely.
I
Yeah.
just don't agree with it at all.
No, no, it's bad. Yeah, people do watch it, unfortunately.
Slurpy's
Right.
just said, "I've unsubscribed from you, Matt, after those pants."
Oh well, you obviously never watch my channel because there's far worse than that. So I suppose I should talk about that for a minute.
Yeah.
About half of my videos are me in incredibly strange outfits, but a lot of it is actually when I was a teenager. I was somebody who dressed like that anyway, so it's been nice to revisit it. It was also an attempt to bring something different. There was a lot of the time I was thinking, what can I do that's different? What are other urban explorers not doing? Ah, right. I'm the only urban explorer who explores in leather trousers. And it's just stuck, and I've been doing it for years now. Yet sometimes just through the door, things just appear through the door, and I think, right, okay, don't know who it's from, but let's try it. I got a lovely package through the door one. It even had eyeliners in it and everything.
Really?
Really nice. Anyone else wants to put stuff through the door, feel free. It may well appear on screen. But I'm
So-
thinking perhaps when I hit 50 and it looks like I may stop at 50 with that.
Matt, do you get changed into your PVC gear or get get
Where's
to
this
the
question?
location?
All right, I've
My
missed
dad,
another.
my dad's just put it on.
It's a mixture of things. Sometimes I get changed there. Yeah. Yeah. Generally, I'll be wearing it and get that. People are used to seeing me in it now. It was a very secret thing before. It's like I'd hide behind a tree or something like that where nobody could see me, but I just walk around looking like that now. It doesn't matter. Get in the car, head up to Brimham Rocks the other day, just straight out of the car looking like that. Anyone who's not subscribed will have no clue what I'm talking about.
Thanks a lot,
Don't let me put you on.
Slurpy said he's going catch. We'll catch on the vids, Matt, always. And
Perfect. Thanks for the jokes.
The pleasure. Thanks a lot, Dave. Cheers for tuning in, mate. Much appreciated. So, some of your videos, Matt, the ones that stand out to me, if I think of your channel, like the ones that I think were brilliant. I love the Scrooge of Todmorden.
Sorry, I was reading. Yes, Scrooge Todmorden, John Gorman.
Yeah,
that was a really interesting one.
That was brilliant. And if I'm not wrong, I think you found the grave as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was absolutely
but
brilliant.
The funny thing is with that, so the story with that one is he was a man who lived in Todmorden as almost like, if you imagine, I mean, I called him Scrooge. It's probably not the right word for him, really, because it would just be filth, pure filth in terms of what he wore and everything else. And people felt sorry for him, so they went in and looked after him. They'd go and cook him food, they'd bath him and everything else for 30 years. And when he died, there was a flood. That's a flood in Todmorden. Can you believe it? There was a flood. And he got pneumonia from the flood and died slightly after. And they had his funeral. He was a member of a certain club. I can't remember exactly which one. It's a couple of years now since I filmed it. was a member of a club. The club paid for the funeral. They paid for the headstone, and the headstone says paid for by whoever this group was. And then the best thing of all, they found his bank accounts. He was a millionaire. And it lived like that for 30 years, never spent a penny because everybody else did everything for him. And
Wow.
that's why I called it the Scrooge of Todmorden.
Mm.
And again, it just like, there's these characters are everywhere in our history. There's not as many about today, but like the ones you covered, I think at the beginning of last year, they're just such fascinating characters. And yeah, it's funny because, again, looking at newspaper reports when they found out how rich he was, people just felt stupid. They were like, well, I can't believe we've done this all this time. There was a lot of anger towards it.
Yeah.
But yeah, his grave's still there. So yeah.
I love reading back at some of these characters, and I've covered one on the Scrooge myself. I've done Recluses, and when you read back on him, I love the way how crudely it's written in the paper back then. The way that they would word things, and it just fascinates me, like the way that the journalist would write the article. It grips me to make me want to do them kind of stories. The other one my dad's just said there, the Christie video. Now, I think that is absolutely amazing.
Oh, John Christie. Well, so that's So again, for anybody watching who hasn't seen that one, I lived in the house that was once lived in by John Christie, the serial killer, but that was when he lived in Halifax, so before the 10 Rillington Place stuff. So on Chester Road in Boothtown in Halifax is where he lived. He didn't commit any murders in Halifax, but he did get up to lots of mischief. And he ran a cinema in Halifax, which was my job for 13 years as well, up till last year. So it was fascinating to really start piecing it together. And I knew he'd been there. And I decided to kind of go backwards in time a bit to where he was born and everything. And all of it was in Halifax. And the house he was born in was a bit further up in Boothtown. And funnily enough, in that house he was born in, previous tenant, Dr. Crippen. And it's like you start piecing all this together. It's like, how are these people actually in Halifax at the time? Obviously, Crippen wasn't even committing any crimes then either, because we're going back way before he committed his crimes. But yeah, it's fascinating. And just to know that I was, somewhere in the distant past, I was in a corner where Christie would have been. And the gravestone outside the house is the graveyard, and his parents are there, and we found their gravestone and things like that. So
when you was in the house, Matt, when you was in the house, did you know back then that he'd lived there?
So the house at that point had been turned into flats.
Right.
So I was in the top floor. I kind of knew he'd been there, but I wasn't as interested in the story back then. It was only when we're filming stuff I was like, okay.
Do you know what I loved about that video too is that nobody else had revived that side of the story. So people
Nobody's
have obviously So
Yeah.
everybody's always done 10 Rillington Place and they associate straight with Christie, but his backstory where he grew up in Halifax and stuff. Not you pieced that together perfectly.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
So some of my videos are what you would call unique, but it's purely because it's my own, not my own interest, but things I've lived in or with, or my family have lived with. So, for example, the Christian one, that's my history as well, if you like. He's much further back. But for example, another one that I had great success was covering Jimmy Savile. But not any of the stories anybody else has ever covered. It was when Jimmy Savile was a preacher in Cragg, Vale. And the only reason I could cover it in any form was because my dad lived next door to where he had his caravan. So he would park his caravan at the pub in Cragg, Vale, and he would go and preach at the church. And this is when it was famous, and they were quite happy to just let him go and preach. And, telling this story as well, It wasn't one anybody knew before, and it wasn't. Again, it wasn't. I wasn't over dramatizing it or anything like that. I was just telling the story, and that one really took off as well. I think it's because it wasn't part of what people know of Savile, and I wasn't. There's nothing you can say about him that isn't bad because it's all bad. But it was a part of a story that wasn't well known. But again, my dad lived through that, so yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting, and it was just the only reason I knew it was because back in the 80s, my dad would talk about he lived next door to where Jimmy Savile was, so we'd get those stories told to us and never think anything else about it. And he'd tell me some of the stuff that was going on, and again, it's only when you look back on it you can go, that isn't right, because one of the stories he told me, again, we're going back 30, 40 years when he told the story, so it's way, way before public knowledge of what Savile was doing, was that Dad got a knock on the door of where they lived, and it was Savile and another man, and a girl had gone missing, run away up onto the moors at Cragg Vale, and they were going round Cragg Vale, getting people together, men, to go and search for this girl who'd gone missing. And they found her eventually somewhere on the hillside and brought back. And again, it was all this big, Savile the hero, he's gone and found this girl and everything else. And it's only then you start to think later, you go, what was she doing there?
Yeah.
Why has she run away? Why is he involved? And it gives a really, really bad feeling when you really think about it.
I think he sort of was a
story.
master manipulator and pulled the wool over everyone's eyes, didn't he?
Absolutely,
And like you say, looking back now, it was blatant to see. If anyone did look a dodgy character, it was Jimmy Savile. But back then, it was only known within the industry of what he was like, I think, and obviously the victims that were silenced for years. But that was another story that was, it's so close. Like, that was your take on it. It wasn't to document him. It was about the experiences of where you lived.
And again, it sounds very awful, this, because it's like, so my dad was the sweetest, loveliest guy, and he was a wagon driver. So you probably know where this one is going. He used to go, roadside cafes and things like that round Calderdale. Who was also at the roadside cafes with him? Peter Sutcliffe.
Oh God, really?
Crazy. Just crazy. Yeah.
What did he have to say? Because I've had so many people message me, even recently, after the video's been gone for, it's been out for over a year nearly. I still get messages saying, I used to work with Peter, or my dad worked with Peter, and he was the nicest guy you'd ever meet.
Yeah, definitely. So the thing is, if everybody looked like a serial killer, they'd be really easy to find.
Yeah.
A serial killer isn't some, and again, it's only through experience of researching and everything else. Serial killers are not the guy in the mother's basement tapping away on a computer in a dark cellar. They are out there, members of the public, and generally the nicest people around to public.
Mm-hmm.
And that is how they don't get caught, because nobody suspects them.
Yeah.
And Sutcliffe was that same. Small guy, neatly dressed, well kept, well spoken, got on with his work and everything else. Yet the other side of it is, one of Britain's worst people ever.
Classic trait of a psychopath.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Right. We should probably look at comments, shouldn't we?
Yeah. So
I don't know how far back we need to go.
Someone said, wasn't Peter Sutcliffe a policeman?
Yes, I think briefly.
Yeah.
And he
was a policeman, I think, when he was in London, but he got sussed out pretty quickly because he was being, he was getting up to shady stuff then, and he was hiding behind the fact that he was a trusted person because he was a police officer. Yeah, and it was all an act.
From memory, I could be wrong because it's a while ago since I filmed it. I think in Halifax he worked for the post office and stole from the post office, and
That's
they caught
right.
him pretty quick.
Yeah.
I think that's what happened. I think he went to jail for that, which again, or he certainly got a criminal record or something like that. Yeah. Oh, Taz, houses above Halifax Market. Yeah, we did that just last year as well for the first time. There are streets in the sky above Halifax Market. If you ever get a chance to go to an open day, I think it's only once a year, something like that. Do go. It's extraordinary looking above there.
My dad said, I love the video on Whitworth Doctors. It made me want to go myself. The gargoyles on the church were amazing.
Yeah. The gargoyles, they're just all over it. And you feel like there's a story to tell. But exactly what, I don't know. And we went, that was me and Tom went to that one. And we were just, it was snow. Just, yeah, difficult to film, but it was a good one. Yeah.
My dad just said Christie was a special constable.
Right.
Another one that stands out for me, Matt, that was another brilliant video was the David Hartley. The King David coin and the Cragg Vale coiners, yeah.
Yeah.
I must have watched that video. I've rewatched it. I probably watch it every few months because
Really?
because I really,
wow.
really like it. I love the story. And then I watched the was it the Gallows Pole? They did a series on it.
Yeah.
The Gallows Pole or something, and it was like a 3-part drama. The first episode I was about to give up on it, and I just ended up watching it the second and the third, and I thought that was brilliant. That was brilliant, but that not only is a place that looks aesthetically brilliant, you know, because it is so original. But then the bit where you went into the woods, where they would have got up to all sorts, you know, with when they were like plotting things, and didn't you say that some coins had been found a few years earlier? From the Cragg Vale coiners.
Yeah, so in the woods there, I think they'd found a stash of coins in a rock, something like that. So very quickly for the coiners, if you don't know what they were a group based initially in Cragg Vale, but they appeared all over actually. And they would clip the edges of coins and melt them down and create new coins. And it became such a big thing, it nearly completely felled the Bank of England. You know, there were even more coins, fake coins than real coins at one point. So they really did put an effort in to try and catch these people. But certainly the ones at Cragg Vale, they were working way, way out on the hillsides at these farms that you would never think of. You know, this is before electricity. So, you know, once it's dark, you're not going to find them. And it just, the twists and tales in the story itself. You get murders in Halifax, policemen get murdered, and people are hung from, I can't think of the name of the hill in Halifax. If you're at the station in Halifax and look opposite, there's a big hillside. They used to hang people from the top of the hill there to deter other people from doing these coins. And it's a story that had been forgotten till about 1970. And it just so happened that Calder High School in Mytholmroyd did a play based on the coiners, and it had almost been totally forgotten. If you went to Heptonstall Graveyard, for example, you'd go to find Sylvia Plath, the poet. She's up there. But now people talk about David Hartley. And, yeah, they called him King because he was kind of the head of the operation. But the whole story of the coiners is fascinating. I'm going to disagree with you on Gallows Pole. I hated it.
Did you?
I hated it because to me it didn't even cover what the story of the coiners is.
Yeah, it did
The book is really good. The book is excellent. The story of the coiners itself is enough to make a series or a film. You don't have to go back in time and start putting in supernatural elements and everything else. There's enough in the coiner story itself, but that's just my opinion.
No, yeah, that's why. Like I said, the first episode I was close to turning it off, and then I stuck with it, and I thought it was good, but there was a lot of it that they'd left big key things out of, and they could have done better with it. But yeah, I'm glad it was something that I watched, and I just thought it was Shane Meadows as well. Shane Meadows is a brilliant director.
good.
You know.
Yeah, I mean, it's all right. I probably shouldn't have said hate's a strong word, but
No.
because the Coiner story is so good
Yeah,
as itself,
yeah,
just from a historical point of view, it's a fabulous
yeah.
piece of history, and it's strong enough. It didn't need extra things that
No,
would not.
yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree. So everyone's saying that Heptonstall's a brilliant place. And they
Edsall is fantastic, and yeah, I filmed a few things up there as well. Yeah, a murder in the Abbey took place. Have a look for that video if you've not seen it. That's one of
that.
Tom's. Yeah, which is quite interesting. And they had to shut the church for 3 weeks to cleanse it of blood. Yeah, so I'll leave it at that in case you've not seen that one.
No, I've watched that one. It's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
That might be it. I'm at the bottom of the questions.
We're at the bottom there, aren't we? So are there any sort of topics and or you know, if you I ask this normally to people that I have on, but if you could wave a magic wand, so say there was something in America or somewhere, where would you love to go and do a story? Is there something that has always gripped you that you've never been able to go and film, basically?
Yeah, what's really annoying is there's a lot of things I've seen before I started filming, and I wish I could have filmed when I was known what I know now and what I've been doing. You know, I've spent a few weeks in Egypt, for example, which was just fascinating, and so much I could have filmed there. Yeah, there is one, and I've got a bucket list, but the top of the bucket list I've decided I'm going to do when I'm 50. I am planning it now. My earliest fascination of anything was in cryptids.
Brilliant.
I got a book at a very young age which covered things like the abominable snowman, Loch Ness monster, UFOs. And of course, some of those are quite easy to cover, especially in Todmorden. We can cover plenty of UFO stories here. Loch Ness is easy enough to get to, although I haven't filmed that. But I've always wanted to go and do a story on a Bigfoot, a Sasquatch, or something else. Again, make your own mind up. If you believe in it, great. If you don't believe in it, great. It doesn't matter. It's a story for me that I want to cover. So there's a film from the 70s that's called The Legend of Boggy Creek, and it's about a Sasquatch in a small town in America, in a place called Texarkana near Arkansas. So I've looked it up, and you can't quite stop in the town itself, but the town itself even has a Yeti shop, for example, you know, a big shop where you can go and get your supplies and things. And I'm going to go, and that's what I'm going to do for my 50th.
That'll be amazing.
So I'm going to go and film that. Again, I don't quite know how the people of Texarkana will take to me when I'm there in my PVC pants, but we'll see. Or even whether, I did a little preview. I got rid of it because I thought, actually, it's a bit too early for 2026. But yeah, I really, really looking forward to that. And yeah, I don't know quite how it will go. But yeah, that's my bucket list one, and I have to do it. I've got the opportunity to go, I've got time to go, so
brilliant.
That's the plan. But yeah, there's all sorts. I occasionally say it to people that I wish I had more time.
Yeah,
and I know that sounds a bit weird, and I hope I'm here for another 40 years at least. But eventually, I won't be filming things. You know, I won't be able to do the things I'm doing. I wish I could go back in time and give myself another 20 years and cover more stories. Yeah, I get requests quite a lot. I'm sure you do as well. I've had some even here today, which have been really good ones, but I get requests. It's just finding that time to go and do it. So yeah, it's that's number one. And I'm going to make sure I achieve that.
There's a video that's got your name.
I might have to do it as a live in case I get caught and then people know what happened.
there is a video that I've covered, but it's got your name wrote all over it.
What's that? Sorry.
And there's a video that I'd love you to go and do. I think you do a brilliant job of it. Probably wait till the weather's changed and it's a bit nicer. But the Plague Village of Ian.
Okay.
I think you'd
Yeah.
do it. I think you'd do it. You'd absolutely smash that. There's so much to film. Just walking through the village alone, there's stories and how it all started, and the houses are still there. There's because obviously they had to bury their own because they were all like infected. There's graves in the gardens, like so they opened the door and there's
Wow.
graves there. It's absolutely fascinating. It's obviously like where the plague kicked off, and they all they sort of isolated the village and took a stand so it didn't spread to the likes of Sheffield and going into Derbyshire and stuff. So, but I just think I've covered it on my channel, and I always thought, God, you do it brilliant. You'd really, really smash that. That'd be great.
Cool. Yeah. Is it Derbyshire way?
Yeah, it's like how can I put it? So it's a tiny little village. It's near a little place called. God, my mind's gone absolutely. Anyone that knows me knows my sense of direction's awful.
Right.
But it's basically it's about 30 minutes from me.
Okay.
So it's that sort of way on. Towards like you've got Castleton further on and stuff like that. But it's just if you ever get the opportunity to go, and there's a train station not too far and stuff, you've got to do it. It'd be absolutely brilliant.
Cool.
So just Mandy's just wrote in here. I came in late. Matt, what's your background that led you to YouTube? I think you sort of briefly touched on it at the beginning, but I think she wants to know.
To YouTube?
Yeah, what start?
So yeah, I won't go too deep into it, but when lockdown was happening, I was totally on my own for lockdown, but I was very naughty and I didn't follow the rules, and I went to start exploring the hillsides. And I would just take my camera and I would literally just hold it and talk about what was behind me and my own personal connection to it. So it might be let's say Studley Pike, for example, and I'd go, back in 1984, I went on a school trip here and it was foggy. Really just quick things like that, 30 seconds, and put them on Facebook. And I have two daughters, and it's a surprise I have daughters, but I have two daughters. And they said, why don't you put these on YouTube and see if you can do something with it? So I did, and I started putting them on, and I didn't know what I was doing because for the first year, everything I film is in portraits as well, which is really annoying. If you're watching it on a computer, it's tiny. I just thought, everybody must be watching stuff on phones. And so, yeah, I've learned now I do more than landscape. And yeah, there were people who were interested in them, but if it got 40 views, I'd be like, yes, that's great. And it just got me into it and more interested into looking at stories and telling more, because I felt I had a lot to tell, because I had a lot of my own history here, and a lot of, I was told folklore as a child, so I knew all about things like the UFO, and I know about certain murders and history and all sorts. I just thought, let's just start telling those stories, and it just expands from there.
It's crazy how it starts off as just a little vlog, and then considering where you've come now, the full-blown videos, full-blown stories, reviving history. And like you say, it just keeps evolving. Like that's the beauty of YouTube. Goes down so many different avenues. Nick's just wrote, I lived in a village near Matlock, Derbyshire called Bosnell. It is a UFO hotspot, and there's a world-renowned chicken race and wheelbarrow race.
That's a good connection.
Yeah.
Or is it the wheelbarrows flying through the sky? Yeah. So Todmorden, where I am here, is a UFO hotspot as well. And if you don't know the story, 1980 specifically, there was a lot of alleged, again, decide whether you want to believe it or not, absolutely fine either way, UFO activity, which started with somebody being found dead on top of a coal pile, who, couldn't have even been, it must have been dropped by a UFO was the decision. And the policeman who found or came to the scene to investigate, he himself then got kidnapped by a UFO a few months later, called Alan Godfrey.
Oh, yeah. Is that the police?
Yeah, yeah, and he never changed. It's still alive. I think he's very old now, but never changed his story and faced absolute ridicule. Um, yeah, always said, and even under hypnosis, he would say things that what happened when he got kidnapped and things. But it's a fascinating story. Whatever it is, whether whatever happened, it's brilliant. So, yeah, and that got me interested. Wyke, which is kind of between I think Halifax and Huddersfield, is another UFO hotspot as well. We've covered that. So, yeah, thanks for telling us of that one, Matlock.
Yeah.
Matlock. I've heard of Matlock Baths. Is that where the Heights of Abraham is there? I think.
I think so. My dad says that Ian's near Haversige. That's the one. My memory went blank. Carol says, hi, chats. Hiya, Carol. Mandy says, love both of you. Both of you have wonderful knowledge of history. Love your channels. Thanks a lot. Grave interest said, Lee, he said, I used to live near Todd. Is it Walsden?
Yeah, yeah.
I used to live there.
Very nice. Yeah, Walsden's a nice spot.
So, Matt, I won't take too much more of your time up.
Okay.
Thank you so much for coming
Carol
on.
just come on, I think.
Carol, yeah.
Carol, hi, Carol.
And Harry, hiya, Harry. Oh, coming on. There's more coming on now.
Oh, here we go. Right, well, they don't want us to go yet, obviously. Don't want your tea yet, folks.
Boss knows
Love
just over
your
the hill
channel.
from
Thank you, Sarah. So the thing with my channel, I don't really know who anybody is. I don't know my subscribers, but I get lots of subscribers who comment on everything, and it's really nice that people watch everything I do, and that's it's such a lovely feeling. Carol is certainly one of those people, and gives a lot of positivity. So thank you so much. I do know your comments, but a lot of people, it's their like YouTube name, and it's like, I don't know who you are. Thank you, and Sarah. I don't know you, Sarah. But thank you very much for watching.
Thank you, Sarah. Cheers, Harry, as well. Thank you for joining. So what? I don't want to take too much of your time. I'm probably going to wrap it up.
Okay.
Is there? How can people find you? You're on Instagram. You're on obviously
Look
YouTube.
for the guy walking across the moors in his speedos is one way. But yeah, we've got Dark Side of the Moor on YouTube. Instagram, I use it, but not a lot. Dark Side of the Moor _YouTube is there as well. So you want to go on Instagram. But yeah, just always feel free to comment on the channel. Just love it. I love doing them. I'm very lucky. Who on earth in this world gets to go and explore the world with their two best friends and have a lot of fun week after week after week? I'm a very lucky person.
It's the perfect job, really, isn't it? I'd love to.
Absolutely.
I'd love to do it full time, even part time if I could. But I'm not in a position where I can, unfortunately. No. But my passion is YouTube, and I shouldn't probably say it, but it's not really my job. It's not my job. I don't get passion from my job. I do it because it pays the bills and keeps wolves at bay, doesn't it? Wolves at bay.
The thing is, your videos. I know people come. We're both really good. We both do a very different style of video. Yours are like little films, and I'm sure people will agree with me here. When you put, you've got your, I don't know how you do it. I mean, you've got your people, all these different people as characters, and you've got voices, and you've got effects and everything else. There's a reason you only do one a month or whatever it is. It's because your videos they're special, mate. They really are. They are such great quality. It's not mine's a lot of quantity, sometimes quantity over quality. Yours are pure quality, and they are fascinating to watch. Never stop doing them.
Thank you. No, I try my best. They do take a long time to do, but it just makes it worthwhile when people enjoy them, doesn't it? But like you're saying, Matt, what draws me into your videos is the way you speak and the way you narrate them and tell the story. I think you're an amazing storyteller.
Right.
The way you tell the story just grips me totally. And I wish that I could just go out and do it, but the reason why I voice over a lot is because I'm not a great storyteller on the camera. Yeah. I can get myself through patches of it, but if I was to do a full video of me like speaking, I'd end up just repeating myself constantly, and So I like to sort of dissect it and put it
Yeah,
into
yeah. I
place.
mean,
But
I'm sure you've seen a lot of mine don't always go to plan, and sometimes when they go so wrong, I just stick a blooper reel out because
the
it just
bloopers
go
are good.
it
The
just go
bloopers are good.
horrendously wrong sometimes. Sometimes yeah, it's like 5 or 6 takes before I get it right because they've gone so wrong. Yeah, I don't do too many now because thankfully, due to editing, I don't have to keep those clips. But yeah, I know a lot of people enjoy the
Yeah.
blooper.
But just save them for a rainy day and you can put it out and
Yeah,
people have a laugh.
yeah, yeah.
Nick says, thanks for entertaining us while I do the ironing. I'm the world's poorest metrosexual. I hope you get Facebook sorted. Wondered where you were. Oh, sorry, yeah, it got hacked, Nick, and I just give up on it in the end, and I shouldn't let them win. But if it took me 5 or 6 years to build my Facebook page up, and I had I think it was close to 10,000 people, and I
Wow.
lost the community like more than it. I wasn't bothered
Gosh.
about losing the page. It was the people I've communicated with and built this community up over the years, and I was just so gutted that I didn't want people to think that I'd turned my back on them and just got rid of it, but things happen, and there's weirdos out there that want to just shut you down at times. So,
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
Torch Tail Miniature says, so interesting, thank you. I'll be looking out for you around Calder Valley. Off to
Yeah, please do.
subscribe.
Yeah, if you ever bump into me, just shout out. Sadly, it's one of those things I won't know your face because you know mine, but do say hello still. Even if I look at you and kind of, okay, I don't know who you are. Just say hello. It's lovely to
Yeah.
bump into people wherever you are. Yeah.
Right, Matt. So I just want to thank you for coming on and giving me your time.
Thank you for having me. It's
No
very
problem.
kind from
No,
you. You've had 90 minutes of me chatting to you.
it's been honestly, it's been
Oh, I don't
really
need to wear
great.
these now. Gosh. Young
It's,
again.
it's been great having you on.
Thank you for having me.
Don't stop doing what you're doing. You're doing an
No,
amazing job.
there's no initial plans. It's well in my head. I'll be totally honest. I'm giving it another 2 years, and then it'll either slow down or I'll go. I've come to the end of what I need to tell. I'm not. It's not goodbye, but yeah, I can't. I am really, really busy with it. It's so much each week, and I do enjoy it. But I never want to reach that point where I don't enjoy it.
Yeah.
So in my head, I'm thinking 2 more years, I can really do it, and then let's see where we are from there.
I mean, you could do them less, if you can't sort of fit it into your schedule anymore, you could drop a video a month like I do, or just
Yeah.
or whenever it feels natural to do. But
Yeah, maybe.
no,
I mean, as I say, it's not. It's just in my head at the minute. I'm just thinking, maybe. But yeah, you'll have lots to come yet, and at least for the next 2 years.
Well, that's a good thing. Well, thanks very much, Matt. If anyone
No
hasn't
problem.
subscribed, I've dropped his link in the comment section, and you can find him on YouTube, Dark Side of the Moor. Go over, subscribe. He's brilliant. His videos are absolutely amazing, and there's a mixed variety on there, which I love about YouTube. I love the variety of people's channels, so I'm sure there'll be something for everyone. So, like I said, Matt, look after yourself. Thanks very much for coming on and giving me your time.
Thank you, everybody, for commenting as well and watching. Much appreciated.
No problem. Thanks a lot, Matt. Take care. Look after
Bye,
yourself,
everybody.
and have a
Thanks,
nice
Sam.
evening.
Take care. Bye.
See you, mate. Bye. I don't know how to turn it off now.
No, I don't either. I'll just keep waving till I've gone.
Yeah. No, we don't want that. There we go. See you, Matt. Bye. Right, so there we have it. That was Matt. Like I said, brilliant YouTuber, one of my favourites, if not my favourite. Frequent content, which is something I love. He constantly puts content out, and like I say, the variety is unbelievable. From really old history and macabre stories to modern day, something light-hearted, and he's just brilliant. And YouTube is a much better place with him on it. So yeah, if you haven't already, I suggest you go over and subscribe to his channel. It doesn't cost a penny, but it just shows a bit of support, and I think Matt would appreciate it. So thanks very much. I'm sorry if I've missed your comments in the chat. It is hard to stay on top of because the screen's sort of jittering all the time. Thanks very much, Sarah. Thank you. Yeah, so that's it. I hope you've enjoyed it. It's been another little catch up with another YouTuber, and it's nice to. Sometimes you don't get to meet them. I've met Matt. I've been lucky. I've met Matt. Once we did a video on Blitz Beach, and I basically went out, filmed it, filmed another video on top of it, and then accidentally deleted sections of it, trying to free up storage, not knowing that I'd deleted. And then my phone updated, and oh god, I had an absolute nightmare with it. So I've still got bits of the footage that I might put together, but hopefully, in the early part of this year, or maybe by mid year, I'll catch back up with Matt, and we'll go and do a video together. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. And yeah, I know if you haven't watched it live and you've rewatched it back, thanks again. And thank you for all your comments and support. It means the world. I'm going to go and get myself some tea now. I'm starving. I've not had any tea yet. And I've missed the second half of United, which I'm gutted about. But it was worth it. So thanks very much, everyone. Take care. Look after yourselves. And I'll see you all soon. I have got videos coming up. But it just needs I need to go out and film a couple, but hopefully I'll be out next week. So take care, everyone, and I'll see you all soon. Thanks very much. Look after yourselves, and I still don't know how to end it. Oh, there it is. Take care, everyone. Bye. Thank you.